Hi there, Jackie Ray here, co-founder of Veda Institute and creator of Sister Science, an online course in yogic healing that I've created for yoga teachers who want to begin to bring Ayurveda into their practice and into their lives. Today, I'm going to be introducing one of my favorite practices of all, one of the most powerful practices in healing that Ayurveda has to offer. That practice is Ayurvedic detoxification. Maybe you've heard of the term pancha, or the Ayurvedic form of detoxification of the physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Most people are at least a little bit familiar with the term pancha, but have little understanding of the actual methods of practice. The term pancha simply means the 5 cleansing actions. Pancha means 5, and karma means action. So pancha is simply the 5 actions of cleansing. These 5 actions are simply designed to remove excess elements or doshas from the physical body. These practices are so powerful that they should only ever be prescribed by a qualified Ayurvedic practitioner. However, the healing diet that traditionally accompanies these panchakarma therapies is safe for everyone regardless of age, physical makeup, or current state of health. So today we're going to be talking about the traditional panchakarma kitchari diet and cleansing practices, how to design a cleansing program that's perfect for you, as well as the best cleansing practices that are safe, effective, and how they work. So first of all, let me start out by saying that this kind of Ayurvedic cleanse is not a detox in the way that we may understand that word. Our culture has become obsessed with cleansing, detoxifying, fasting to the point that we no longer use these practices for what they were originally intended. With diets such as the master cleanse, juice fasting, water fasting, and all the forms of fasting that there are out there today, we've become a culture obsessed with these practices. Ayurveda, however, has a very different view of these practices altogether. Fasting, for example, has always had a place in most cultures, as well as in Ayurveda. However, fasting has never been intended as a cleansing or detoxifying practice, rather as a spiritual practice. You see, fasting, in nearly every culture and religion, offers a method by which to reach new heights of spirituality, but has never been and was never intended as a practice to cleanse or detoxify the body. Because we are miseducated in the practice of fasting and what changes it actually provokes in our bodies, we believe that fasting is a healing practice, when in fact for most people, and please note that I say most people, it is not. When we fast, and by fast I mean completely removing solid foods from our diet, this practice tends to send our body into a state what is called ketosis. What that means is that our body begins to believe that we're in a state of starvation, and essentially it begins to consume itself. This is why when we fast we begin to lose weight so dramatically, where in essence we're starving ourselves. So what happens when we begin to introduce foods into our diet after fasting? Well, our bodies, in their infinite wisdom, will usually decide that because of these dire circumstances that it just experienced, it may or may not get more food in the future. So it will begin to essentially turn to hoarding the foods that it does receive, and you put weight on again very quickly. Hence the yo-yo diet results of dropping weight very quickly and then gaining it all back again. Ayurvedic cleansing, on the other hand, takes quite the opposite approach. The key to Ayurvedic cleansing is not to restrict nutrition, rather to use foods that are prized for their nutritional value to help the body begin to heal itself. So while modern detox methods tend to send the body into a state of crisis, Ayurvedic cleansing methods use foods to heal the body, which in turn allows the body to heal itself. This is the main difference between the modern view of detox and the Ayurvedic view of healing. Our body does not need an outside source to detox. Our bodies already have the perfect detoxification hardware already downloaded in their system. All we need to do is follow the universe's perfectly laid out signs, and we can give our bodies the time and the space that it needs to be able to heal all on its own. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I've done a juice fast or a water fast, and it was absolutely amazing, and that very well may be. But remember, as with everything in Ayurveda, nothing is one size fits all. While a juice fast may feel great to a person who's a pitta or fire dominant constitution, that same juice fast can make a kapha individual feel extremely out of balance, bloated, or just plain sick. While a water fast may be really good for some people, it will seriously aggravate those of predominantly vata dosha, sending their digestive system into a state of complete distress, and will be very hard to come back to a state of health for that person after an extended fast of that nature. Fasting is rarely recommended for those of vata constitution. But remember this, fasting was never intended as a practice for detoxification, rather as a practice of spiritual growth. So when we can tune into these elements in our constitution, we can begin to design an Ayurvedic cleansing practice that is unique and healing for each one of us. And each one of us is really, really different. The diet that is recommended in Ayurveda as one of cleansing and rejuvenation is a diet of a common Ayurvedic dish that's called kitchari. It's a very simple meal of basmati rice and split yellow mung dal beans. This beautiful combination makes for an easily digestible, complete protein to nourish all of our body's tissues, creating a space of healing. Rather than fasting, which is a diet of restriction, we commit to a daily diet of only eating a simple healing meal of kitchari twice or 3 times a day. Kitchari by nature is tridoshic, meaning that it's good for all 3 doshas, and most importantly, it's really, really easy for our body to digest. When our body can focus not on digestion, but on cleansing itself and rejuvenation, our body is given the space to heal itself. With an Ayurvedic cleansing diet of kitchari, we're simply allowing our body the space and the time that it needs to heal itself. A kitchari cleanse is something that Ayurveda recommends for everyone to practice with the change of the seasons. But one of my favorite Ayurvedic doctors always says that the perfect time to do an Ayurvedic cleanse is when you have the time to do it. That's it. A kitchari cleanse allows your body the time to reset and recharge for the new season. Again, the recommended time to do this kind of cleanse is with the change of the seasons, but it's most effective when moving from summer to fall and from winter to spring, with the change of diet and seasonal foods, allowing your digestive system to reset and prepare for the new dietary changes that come with the summer and winter seasons. In today's worksheets, you will begin to design your perfect for you kitchari cleansing diet. One thing that I want you to keep in mind is that, like everything else in Ayurveda, this is never a one-size-fits-all. Each one of you will come up with a cleansing program that's perfect for you, and that program may not look like anyone else's. The important thing to remember is your intention is to heal, to allow your body the time it needs to reset and to give it that time. I am not going to tell you what you need to do. Intuitively, you already know. Tune into the elements that you know you need to balance when you are creating your kitchari cleanse recipe. For those who want to balance air and space elements or vata dosha, you will want to add spices and veggies to your kitchari recipe that are most balancing for you, making your kitchari quite soupy with lots of earth and water elements. For those of you who want to balance fire Add cilantro and other pitta balancing veggies and herbs, adding spices for healing and detoxification purposes, but in moderation to not aggravate that fire element too much. For those who want to balance kapha, or those earth and water elements, adding more bitter and astringent veggies and herbs, as well as heating spices, less water element, and no heavy earthy veggies will be best. Play with it, make it yours, experiment. This is where the fun starts. The most important thing to remember is not to take it too seriously. This is a simple prescription of a healing diet. You're continuing to eat 3 wholesome healing meals every day. It's a practice that's safe and effective and can be enjoyed by everyone, regardless of dosha or state of health. Now, when you're ready to begin, commit to eating a simple healing kitchari diet for a few days, maybe 3 days, maybe 5 days, and for those who are feeling like they really want to dive in, maybe even 7 days. But I'm going to recommend that you do no more than 7 days without the supervision of a qualified practitioner. So, are you ready to get started? For those of you who are ready to dive in and experience this amazing cleansing tradition, I've included one of my favorite Ayurvedic practitioners' recommendations for you. Dr. John Douillard has guided thousands of these programs in his online Colorado Cleanse, and you can find the full program right under today's lessons worksheet. Within the program, you'll find all kinds of amazing practice recommendations, recipes, cleansing tea recipes, and much more. I invite you, however, to design your very own personal cleansing program. This is how we learn, and this is how we grow. Ayurveda is never an exact science. Remember, it's a very personal one. So I invite you to create your own perfect for you kitchari recipe. And as a bonus, go ahead and create your own perfect for you cleansing spice tea recipe as well. I can't wait to see all of your recipe creations. Feel free to share them inside the Facebook group where I'll be to answer all of your questions. Until next time, see you in the next lesson.